Hi there, I am Raluca, welcome to my YouTube channel. I do enjoy the first 2 minutes of this video in the sunlight. Today we're discussing prom and I'm going to show you a look that I feel like it's very suitable for prom or for weddings or any special occasion that you might have during spring and summer. Basically the look is going to be very versatile, so it's going to work regardless of the dress that you're wearing, with a few exceptions of course. And I'm also going to try to keep it as affordable as possible, or at least give you affordable options where I can. I'm excited, let's get into it. I'm gonna start with my eyes. We're going to do a lot of blending today and I don't want to risk getting fallout on my face. We obviously want to look flawless. So if you have a good eyeshadow primer, I suggest you stick with that. You're probably gonna want your makeup to last the entire night. Since I don't have an affordable eyeshadow primer, I'm just going to show you another option. You can basically use concealer and powder on top of it. It's going to last pretty well. Not as well as like a very good eyeshadow primer. But I'm going to use the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. This is a more drying formula, let's say. It's not that hydrating. And that's why it works a little bit better as an eyeshadow primer than my other concealers. I don't really enjoy this on my under eye as much as I used to, because it is a little bit more drying. But it works as an eyeshadow primer, so this just has a more like a matte finish. I used to really love it on my under eyes too, but no, I do prefer something that's a tiny bit more hydrating. I haven't tried it on my under eyes in a long time though. To increase the longevity of the eyeshadow, I'm going to set this with a little bit of translucent powder. The one that I have here is actually the RCMA No Color Powder. I should show you the original jar. If you know the RCMA powder, the original jar is pretty tall and hard to use actually, because it doesn't have a proper lid like usual powder jars do. So I just transfer it into another jar and I can use it safely without getting it all over the floor. I'm just gonna pick a fluffy brush. The RCMA powder is not really drugstore, I think. I'm not sure. I think it's a professional brand. But that powder is so affordable. I paid like 14 euros and I'm using it, I think it's been 3 years at this point. And I can't finish it. I have like half, well, maybe a little bit less than half a jar left. And I also gave a full regular powder jar to a friend from my big powder jar. Like, I just cannot finish this product. When I'm thinking prom or weddings, I usually think about these pinkish tones, the soft pinks, mauve tones. These always make me think of prom or bridal makeup, because this doubles as a bridal makeup as well. This is the Sorbet quad from Colourpop. I didn't try many Colourpop shadows, but their quality for the ones that I've tried is really good. I'm gonna start with my transition shade. I'm going to pick this one in the corner, and this is the Juvia's Space 007 brush. Tap off the excess. As you can see, this does have a little bit of kickback. The way that I'm placing this shadow is actually something like this. So starting from my outer corner and then blending into my crease. Starting here. And then I can start bringing it into my crease. And I like bringing it upwards and out to create kind of like an extension of the eye. And this is so soft and pretty. Then I'm gonna take this darker matte shadow of the palette to intensify my outer corner of the eye. And I'm using a smaller blending brush. This is a Morphe M506. I think you can see the fallout on camera. And I'm gonna start tapping it in my outer corner. For me, when I place the shadows, it's very important to keep my eyes open so I can see exactly the shape that I'm creating with the shadows. Especially if you're not that experimented with eyeshadow. If you close your eyes and do like makeup on, let's see how you see on other people, it might look very different on you. So keep your eyes open and try to imagine how you want your shadows to be placed, like basically the shape that you want to create to your eye. As you can see, this placement that I did kind of lifts my outer corner and extends my eye a little bit, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with this look. Then I'm gonna do just a tiny extension here. I basically have no product on my brush at this point, so I'm doing little flicks like that to create kind of like a V shape with the blend. If you want, you can take this into your crease as well. I usually prefer to just keep it in my outer part of the eye, mainly because my eyes are close to my nose and I prefer to kind of distance them apart visually. And I also have deep set eyes, which means that my crease is very visible. I don't want to emphasize that by applying more dark shadow in my crease. I already have a dark shadow in my crease naturally, basically. Then I can take my previous brush, the fluffy one, and I am going to start to really blend these shades together. I'm not using any additional product on the brush, it's just whatever is left from that transition that we applied. Then I'm gonna use a flat brush and pick up this soft pink eyeshadow from the palette. My brush is Juvia's Place 002 Small Definer Brush. You can obviously use your finger as well, if you can, because if you have long nails that might be a little bit tricky. I think I'm actually going to do a combination between the brush and the finger. Basically, I start the application from the inner portion of my eye and fade it towards the center of my lid. The brush application kind of gives a little bit of a softer look. If you do want it to be a little bit more intense, I suggest you go for the finger application. The shimmer was a little bit too soft for me, so on this side I topped it with the finger, and as you can see, it's such a big difference. This is so much shinier than the brush application. If you do want sparkly and shiny, do use your finger. If you do want a softer look, go with the brush. So I basically just took the shadow on my finger and did little taps on my lid. I'm gonna have to take my previous brush and really blend this outer corner, basically blend the shimmer into the matte. At this point, if you want, you can do a wing liner, but what I'm going to do instead is blend a pencil at the base of my lashes. You can use black if you want a more intense look, but I'm going to use brown for a softer look. So I do have a brown pencil here. This one is from Sephora Collection, and I'm basically just going to apply it at the base of my lashes and then smudge it. And again, I like to keep the dark colors on the outer portion of my eye, so I'm gonna start right here at the outer corner and bring it up to the center of my lid. I'm not going to apply it all the way to my inner portion of the eye. If you want a softer makeup, obviously you can just leave it like this and apply lashes or just mascara, but I do want a little bit of intensity on my lash line, and I'm going to quickly blend this pencil with a pencil brush. This is the Morphe 149. I'm just going to do little back and forth motions to smudge this pencil. I made it a little bit thicker in my outer corner again to lift the outer portion of my eye, and then thinning it out as it reaches the center of my lid. You can leave it like this if you like, but I will take the darker shade of the palette again and I will use it to set the pencil into place. This increases the longevity, let's say, even though the pencil is long-lasting in itself, but it will also make the colors look a little bit more cohesive, because it's basically going to turn the brown on the pencil into that, what color is that? Dark mauve? I don't know. Whatever, it's going to make the colors look similar all over the look. It's just a subtle difference, but I do like to do that extra step. I'm gonna move on to the skin for now. Make sure that you do your skincare. Should always be very religious with your skincare, at least one cleanser and one moisturizer and sunscreen. Cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, these are the main products that you need. The other ones are just extra steps. And also, what I would recommend before prom is taking a little extra step and exfoliate your skin a few days prior at least. You can either use a scrub or some kind of an acid. That will really help the foundation to look better on your skin. You won't have all that extra layer of dead cells on your skin, and yeah, everything will just look better. I do have my skincare and my sunscreen on my skin. I'm not going to apply any additional primer. If it's prom, you can apply your primers. I usually just skip them, mostly because I feel like they're moving away my sunscreen, and to me it's just a regular day. I do want sunscreen, and it's also very sunny outside. Just so I don't mess up my sunscreen, I won't apply a primer. Moving on to foundation, a drugstore option that lasts really well on me is the Catrice True Skin Foundation. I do have here the shade 004, I think. Yeah. Neutral Porcelain, but I am going to mix in a little bit of this HD Liquid coverage, just because this shade, because it's neutral, it just makes me look very washed out. I do need a little bit of yellowness in my foundation, so I'm going to apply a little bit of this sand beige shade, which is way too dark for me, but just a tiny drop of that I think will be alright. Okay, I'm going to shake them both. This is the texture of the true skin. I'm going to apply, I think, a pump and a half. I think that's enough. And a little bit of the HD Liquid coverage. 3 little drops of that. I'm going to mix them on my hand. Yeah, I think I like this shade. I'm gonna take my sponge and pick up the excess product from my hand, and I will start blending the foundation into my skin. You can see what a nice coverage it has. So yeah, it does have high coverage, I would say. And it's so affordable, and it just looks so beautiful on the skin, and also lasts so beautiful on the skin. I feel like this foundation is a steal for that price. I actually like this shade that I created, because none of these two are actually my shade, so I might have to mix them. But I'm also going to bring it down my neck a little bit. Obviously I do have an open cut here, you don't want to see a shade difference. So really blend the foundation really well. Also, especially if you have an updo, apply it on your ears as well. My favorite concealer that I have tried so far is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser. I have opened brand new ones. So here I have the shade Brightener and the shade Neutralizer. This is a color corrector, and this is, I think it's also a color corrector, but for me, I can use it as a concealer because I do have a yellow undertone, and this is kind of like a yellow neutralizer. I'm gonna start with the pink brightener. I start seeing product, yay! This is a peach corrector, and as the name says, it's a brightener. Will really brighten up my under eyes. Now let's do the same with the neutralizer shade. You can see it has a yellow undertone, but it's not like crazy yellow. And for this one, I'm going to use the sponge to blend it out. You can also do some cleaning up around the shadow if you do want it to be a little bit sharper, a little bit more lifted. Today I am going to set with the sponge. I'm saying today as if the other days I'm setting with the brush. No, I do set with the sponge a lot lately. Basically, I will make sure there are no creases on my under eyes. Then I'm gonna take the powder on the side of the sponge that I did not use to blend cream products. Very important. It can kind of separate and just look muddy. I'm gonna stamp the powder on my under eyes. And I'm also going to bring it down my pores so it smooths them out. You can obviously set your entire face if you want. I do like the rest of my skin to stay dewy, so I just set my under eyes. For the bronzer part, I have here a sample, not a real sample. This is a Sephora Collection bronzer. It's an older version. Essence has a duo with a bronzer and a light powder that I never know what to use it for. You can use something like that. That's a great affordable option. I did have it. The thing that I did not like about it is that it's a little bit too powdery, a little bit too pigmented for a bronzer, but it works, especially for the price. For now, I'm just going to use my Sephora Collection one. It's not that expensive, but it's a little bit more, not almost mid-end. I'm using tapping motions because I did not set the sides of my face, and if I go ham with the bronzer, it might look patchy. So I'm being very careful on how I place this product. Oh, I'm also blending it down my neck, starting from my jawline. This will make your jawline appear so much sharper. Doing a little bit underneath my nose. You can do full nose contour if you want. My nose shape doesn't really allow that. Here I like to pinch my brush and extend the shadow into my temples. Basically connect the contour with the eyeshadow. And obviously I'm going to contour my forehead as well. I always make fun of my huge forehead for some reason. I don't really own a lot of brushes, but I do have this drugstore version from Essence. It's very pink, but if you apply a little bit of it, it's not bad. So I'm just really tapping off the excess from my brush because I don't want that hot pink cheek. But if you do apply a tiny amount of it, it just gives that cute color on your skin. I bet they have other shades as well. I just got this I was gifted this color. I do enjoy pink blushes, but I feel like this one is a little bit too pink, especially for my fair complexion. It's just that hot, really hot pink. It's in the shade Pink Me Up, by the way. For highlighter, you might know already what I'm going to use. The e.l.f. Baked highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. I really love this one, and it's very affordable. It's like $4, which is, again, such a steal. And I'm going to apply it on top of my cheekbone here, on my chin. But just keep in mind that this is a very natural highlighter. If you're looking for that blinding glow, you might not like it. Going back to the eyes, I'm going to pick this transition shade again, tap out the excess, and I'm gonna apply this on my lower lash line as well. And I will make sure to connect it to the upper lid in my other corner here, so it looks like one cohesive look. Then I'm gonna take my little brush with the darker shade, and I'm gonna apply it right in my outer corner of the eye. And I'm going to connect it with the top part here. And let me just blend that a little bit. On the waterline, depending on the look that you're going for, you can go for the dark brown, or you can use something lighter, like a light cream shade. I wouldn't go for white, especially if you have big eyes like I do, but a light beige shade like this would be so much more flattering than white. I'm looking for a more awake daytime look, not daytime occasion, let's say. So I'm just going to apply it right on my waterline, and this really opens up my eyes and makes them look a little bit bigger, as you can see. Now for my inner corner, I'm going to use the last shade of the palette, the only one that I did not use. That's why I really like this palette, because it's so, I don't know, it's just so complete. You can do a look exclusively with these 4 shades in the palette. So I'm going to highlight my inner corner with this shade. Oh, look how blinding that is. So beautiful. And I'm going to use the little leftover product on my brush on my brow bone. I'm gonna finish up my eyes with mascara. You can apply false lashes, obviously, if you want. I'm just going to skip them. If it was my prom, I would probably apply some false lashes, but today is just a regular work day for me, so I'm just going to go for mascara. I do like the mascara look as well lately. And I'm gonna use my Catrice or Volume waterproof mascara. Especially on mascara, I feel like you don't really have to spend a lot of money. There are a lot of drugstore options out there. Essence has some really good mascaras. I'm gonna apply it on the lower lashes as well. Let's do the lips. I'm going to go for soft pink again. I'm usually wearing light nude colors, so I'm going to line my lips with this NYX pencil in the shade Toulouse. It's a very nice nude pink shade if you have fair or light complexion. And in the center of my lips, I'm going to go for this Maybelline Super Stay Matte ink in the shade Loyalist. This is a very, very light nude. I do enjoy this kind of a color. Oh, how I love this shade. So this is the look. Let me know what you think about it. If you would wear it for prom or for a wedding. Like I said, I also feel like this is a very nice bridal look. But I want to hear your thoughts as well. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it was useful. If you have any other requests of looks that you want me to film, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Somebody requested a glitter, was it like a smoky liner? I'm not sure, like a glittery liner look. I'm going to have to look again, and I will do it probably next week. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!